Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have such an important video to share with you guys, and I wanted to expose or shed some light on the American culture, American diet, American lifestyle, and show you guys and teach you the knowledge that you need to safely choose the foods that you eat. The American lifestyle is the actual recipe for disease. Being busy, eating out, eating trans fat, eating too much sugar, eating so many things with so many chemicals, and living such a high stress lifestyle is the exact recipe for disease. And it shows. So many Americans are battling with autoimmune disorders, like myself when I was younger, and until a few years ago, I've been dealing with eczema for most of my life. People also get diabetes, stroke, heart disease, cancers, and these are all such preventable things if you eat right and if you have the right lifestyle. There's something that you guys need to know as a preface to this video. There's something called epigenetics, and it basically is the idea that we can turn on or off certain genes that predispose us to certain problems. For example, if breast cancer has run in your family for years and years and years, the things that you choose to do during your life can turn on or turn off that gene. Then when you go to reproduce, whether that gene is on or off, you're giving your offspring a higher or lower chance of those problems. So today I'm going to share with you 5 tips so that you become more aware and start taking the steps to prevent disease, to change or make your disease get better or make yourself feel better. And let's jump right in. So the number 1 tip that I have for you guys, it is so important for you to eat whole foods. If you do nothing else, start replacing at least 1 meal a day with a whole foods based meal. And that can look like a salad, or you can make sweet potato, you can even try to make your own French fries, but just start with whole foods yourself. Eat some broccoli, eat spinach, eat a beautiful salad with fruit on it, eat a fruit salad. Start off by that one single change, because you are in control of what is happening with that whole food. The best choice you can make is to either buy organic or buy from your local farmer's market. Get some local fruit, get some local vegetables, and start there. That is the healthiest thing that you can do, and one of the best steps towards becoming a healthier individual. Now, I said you have control. You do not have control over processed foods especially. You don't know what these companies are putting in there, and most of you don't even read the ingredient list. We're taught in school that we should be reading the nutrition facts. Look at how much fat and sugar, calories, but the truth is that doesn't really matter as much as what the ingredients are. So that brings me to tip number 2, and become aware of ingredients. We really have no idea what these companies are putting into our foods, and I say that because the FDA, which is an organization that regulates our food in the United States, does not regulate our food quite enough. There's so many different chemicals that they're allowed to put in our food that people in Europe are not allowed to put in the food, because the regulations in Europe are so much more strict. For years we've been battling with carcinogens, which are toxins that cause cancer, and these companies kept putting it into our food. Examples of a carcinogen is food dyes, like food coloring. There was one, it was like a red number something and a yellow number something. I think they've pretty much been removed from our products now, but we've been battling that for years. A huge food activist is coined Food Babe, and she is a blogger and a writer, and she has done so much work to advocate for these companies to make these big changes. One thing that still hasn't been fixed is natural flavors. Now, if you're reading the ingredients list of just about any processed food, it's gonna have the word natural flavors in it. There is no FDA guidelines as to what that means. So you need to make sure that the processed food that you're buying doesn't say the word natural flavors. If it was so natural, wouldn't they just put what it actually is? Going off of that, food labels are so misleading. They'll say sugar-free, they'll say things like contains less fat, they'll say things like all natural. The FDA has absolutely no regulations for what the word natural means. However, something you should look for is when a packaged product has a seal that says USDA organic. That can get you a little closer to foods that are a little bit better for you. Now, if you don't have a disease right now, if you're not battling diabetes, if you don't have an autoimmune conditions include eczema, psoriasis, allergies, asthma. If you don't have any of those, your body's probably starting to get to that point. And by the time you're in your 60s, your 70s, you're gonna end up with a so much worse disease than you can ever imagine, and that's why you need to take the steps today. There's probably built up inflammation in your body, and it can result in so many different things, between migraines, almost anything that ails you that doesn't come from bacteria or virus. That has to do with inflammation from the foods and the lifestyle that you live. The American lifestyle is so full of stress, so full of on the go, that people are eating out and the stress is building up in their body. Stress is also a huge component to the toxic chemicals that are in your body. Now, don't get me wrong, a little bit of stress is fine, it keeps us alive, but Americans have so much stress, from relationships to work to performing well in school. That is doing so much damage on our bodies, and we need to take care of ourselves. My third tip is for you guys to avoid something called trans fat. So basically, a trans fat is when the chemists have artificially taken unsaturated fat and made it become saturated by hydrogenating it, or basically adding a hydrogen to it. Trans fat are basically a recipe for heart disease, and what you guys should do is make sure that when you go to fast food restaurants, if you go to fast food restaurants, you look at the nutrition label before you buy anything. And if it has the word trans fat on it, you need to avoid it always. And if you go to McDonald's, Wendy's, Arby's, you need to make sure and check that their burgers, that their chicken, all sorts of different things that they have could have trans fat in it, and you need to be careful and you need to protect yourself. The fourth thing that I wanted to talk about regarding the American diet is how much sugar is in our processed foods. You pretty much cannot buy anything processed that does not have sugar in some form in it. So don't be tricked. Sugar can come in all sorts of forms. Sugar is called sugar, it is called cane sugar, beet sugar. Those are all highly processed sugars, and they come in almost everything. Do this for fun. Go look at a McDonald's chicken burger and find sugar. Go look at the ingredient list, and I bet you anything there's sugar listed there. Sugar comes in everything. Now, a little bit of sugar is fine here and there. Fruit has sugar in it. You know, you can find it in sweet potatoes, in all sorts of really great things. And a little bit of sugar is totally fine. Our body needs sugar. Sugar metabolizes in our body and breaks down into glucose, which then we can use for energy. So it's perfectly fine. However, we should only have around 23 grams of sugar per day. If you look at a soda container, you'll see that one single soda probably has 60 grams minimum in one can of soda. And so what that's doing is you're basically causing your body to store all of this. It then is stored as fat. The more fat you have on your body, the more likely it is for you to have diseases later in your life. And the final fifth tip is we need to change how busy you are. So the American lifestyle has everyone on the go all the time. You have to make it to work, you have to make it to your volleyball game, you have to make it to school, you have to get everywhere so fast that the majority of people don't take the time to make their own food at home. And that's the only way you know what is actually going into your body. So I wanted to just list a couple trickeries that are happening. So if you go to the store and you look at a package and it says something like vegetarian fed chicken, I wanted to just let you guys know that chickens are not supposed to be fed a vegetarian diet. Chickens are supposed to be eating bugs and grasses. They're supposed to be free range. So when they're enclosed and it says it's all vegetarian fed, well, that's wonderful, but they're still eating inflammatory foods. They're still eating foods full of genetically modified chemicals. And it's not that genetically modified organisms, GMO, is a bad thing. Technically, the idea was to allow crops to last longer, to make us have more food to feed other people. But the truth is, these crops are then being sprayed with chemicals because they're resistant to them. So then we're now consuming these chemicals. And so it's a big whole big thing. And so those GMO crops are being fed to the chickens. The chickens are eating corn, the chickens are eating wheat, they're eating all of these grains, and then you're then consuming it. So I just want you guys to be aware of labels. You need to make sure that you're reading the ingredients, you're reading where things are sourced from. If you buy fish, make sure it's wild caught. There's so many little things that you can do that add up to either health or disease. And I just wanted to make this video to make you guys aware and take those little steps to start clearing your body of those toxins. One little tip is you should drink a tea. You can drink dandelion tea or milk thistle tea, and that kind of helps your liver regulate and detox to get some of the chemicals out of your body. But the only way you're truly going to heal is if you change your lifestyle. You reduce your stress, you implement whole foods, you eat at home, or you meal prep. And that's what tip number 5 is. You need to start either meal prepping or figuring out a way that you can eat whole foods while on the go. You can go in the grocery store and you can even go into a gas station and find fruit. That's a start. You can choose bananas over a candy bar. You can start meal prepping at home. And so you don't have to meal prep all Sunday. What you can do is meal prep one food each night when you get home. You can make rice one night, you can prep some chicken another night, and so that way all the foods, you can start to make different dishes with them. You won't have to make the exact same dish every single day and take it to work. You can also prep watermelon, you can just bring an apple. How easy is that? Bananas, apples, oranges, they all come in their own packaging. And that's amazing. They have appeal. So start there. Start with these 5 steps to start clearing your body of these toxins. I want you guys to heal and to feel what it feels like to be healthy, to feel how it feels to not be inflamed, to not have acne, to not have migraines. We need to start creating a lifestyle in America that's away from these big businesses that are trying to trick us into being addicted to their processed foods. I know this video is a whole lot, but thank you guys so much for watching it. And if you want more tips like this and you want to keep having a conversation about these big companies, give this video a big thumbs up and leave me a comment saying good job. So I'll see you guys in my next video. I mostly talk about eczema, so if you've come to this channel for that, don't worry, most of my videos are about that. But I wanted to start branching out and teaching more and more and more about nutrition. See you guys in my next video.